shocked?
I feel scared.
Cry. A lot.
Nervous? No, I'd flee the country. There's no way. I'm just not doing that. Ever. No. I've never joined the army.
I'd be honored.
Israelis, both men and women alike, are recruited into the IDF at age 18 to serve their country as foot soldiers, Marines, paratroopers, engineers, medics, and more. Their initial training, known as Tironut, lasts for approximately 3 months and is followed by advanced training courses in specific units of the Army. In training, soldiers learn the methods of the IDF, basic survival skills, and how to handle weapons. Soldiers go on to serve in their respective fields, women for about 2 years and men for at least 3. At such a young age right out of high school, Israel's young men and women are expected to serve their country with dignity and honor. While American teenagers are also sent to fight for their country, it is hard for any of us to imagine being forced out of high school to defend your country from a very real threat to your life that you and your country has faced since its existence.
The Israeli military is committed to ensuring that civilians are not harmed during combat missions against terrorist forces in its effort to protect itself from this very real threat. Terrorist groups, such as Hamas or Hezbollah, who target Israel, particularly Israeli civilians, embed themselves in civilian populations. These terror organizations hide in civilian-populated areas, using them as shields from IDF intervention. Furthermore, these terror organizations stockpile weapons, rockets, and mortars, which they use against the Israeli civilian population, in municipal buildings, hospitals, schools, and private homes. The Israeli military takes the moral initiative to ensure that it minimizes civilian casualties while ensuring the success of their mission to defend its citizens. From the start of their basic training, Israeli Defense Force soldiers are taught the United Nations Laws of Armed Conflict, a series of international laws regulating the use of military force to ensure that non-combatants are not harmed and prisoners of war are treated humanely. Israeli soldiers are trained to apply restraint when faced with enemy combatants fighting amongst the civilian population. To avoid civilian casualties, the IDF has adopted numerous techniques and weapons that have systems in place to attack only military targets, while protecting civilians and property in the nearby area. Before an airstrike, IDF drones and military intelligence confirm the validity of the military nature of the target through the use of reconnaissance drones and military aircraft. Before any ordnance is released, the IDF often warns people in the targeted area of the impending strike with cell phone calls or through dropping leaflets so that they may evacuate and avoid potential harm. While revealing the IDF's intentions and potentially warning the combatants in the area to flee the target, the IDF maintains that it is of higher priority to protect civilians on the ground rather than kill those that seek Israel's destruction. The Israeli Air Force employs special munitions that are designed to reduce collateral damage. One of these systems is the Delilah missile, which is designed to circle over a target area after being launched or dropped from an aircraft and will only strike its intended target after a military commander on the ground verifies the existential military value. If the commander deems that the strike would cause too much collateral damage or would significantly harm people on the ground, the operator can divert the missile into an unpopulated area, causing it to harmlessly hit the ground. Other missile systems employed by the IDF are the Hellfire and Tammuz missiles, which can select parts of buildings to strike and ensure that certain rooms or floors of a building are taken out, while leaving the rest of the structure intact, reducing damage to property and ensure the success of the mission without harming nearby civilians. When the Israeli military decides to send Israel's sons and daughters into harm's way, it goes to great lengths to protect the lives of people living in the areas it intends to strike, who are put at risk by terrorists who hide amongst the civilian population. Israeli soldiers are conscripted into the military right out of high school because of the existential threat to their nation's existence, and are further put in harm's way by the tactics used to combat their enemies. While these tactics ensure the safety of civilians, the restraint they impose on Israeli soldiers compel them not to take action that might otherwise ensure their own safety in the combat zone, out of respect for the innocent human life that could be affected.